Ubisoft was right. Hi, my name is Kamilian, and in this series, I share unpopular opinions of mine on movies, TV shows, and games. And I have lost count how many times I've rewritten the script, tried to record it, and then just, started the whole process again. There's so many things that I keep going off script with, like right now. So let's move forward. Today's the first time I'm going to be doubling down and expanding on a previous topic. Mostly expanding. And to put it simply, I believe that fans are too picky in terms of like movies, games, and such, and just don't know what they want. And I will expand on both. Now, I'm not trying to tell you these things as a fact, because it's not. It's just my opinion. That's all it is. All I ask is that you hear me out. So before I go straight into this, there are companies over the last 5 to 10 years, right? Like Ubisoft, Bethesda, Nintendo, many others who have said similar things. And that's things like I've said. Fans are too picky. Fans don't know what they want. It's not always in those words. Sometimes it's those exact words. And before I delve into why I believe fans are unbalancing the scales, I am going to jump in and just give a quick preface. While today's video will focus on the negative impact of fan behavior, let's not forget that studios need to own up to their missteps and strive for better practices. I'm going to start by addressing the issue of spoilers and leaks. We've all been there, eagerly awaiting the release of the next big game, only to have a major plot point spoiled online. This trend has become increasingly prevalent as some fans seek online clout by spreading leaked information. A prime example of this is The Last of Us Part 2. Weeks before its release, key plot points were leaked online, sparking widespread controversy and altering the anticipation for the game. The emotional impact and surprise elements planned by the developers were compromised, leading to a divided fanbase even before the official launch. It's not just about plot points though. Leaks can reveal gameplay mechanics that developers intended to be a surprise, diminishing the sense of novelty when players finally get their hands on the game. Using fan reactions to this leaked information as a segue into how critical fans have become, it's no secret that today's gamers are more vocal than ever. While feedback can absolutely drive improvements, it often crosses the line into relentless negativity. A common scenario, though, is the backlash over minor issues. For instance, a game may receive widespread criticism over a small graphical glitch or an unpopular character choice. Suddenly, these isolated flaws become the focal point of discussion, overshadowing the game's achievements. Needless to say, these isolated and very small problems are often showcased in every post, every TikTok, every YouTube video, criticizing the game as a whole over this tiny misstep. But this isn't just about expressing dissatisfaction. There's an incentive to seek out faults actively, because negative videos or posts tend to attract more viewers and engagement. Unfortunately, this often results in a skewed perception of the game's quality, as sensationalized negativity overshadows balanced critique. In an age where social media has granted everyone a platform for better or for worse, criticisms often snowball and shape perceptions before we even experience the products ourselves. Take for instance the recent uproar over the new Superman trailer. We all know the scene. That scene with Superman flying over the ice landscape ignited debates over its plausibility and visual impact. This small artistic choice has been dissected and criticized in thousands of tweets and posts, overshadowing the broader context of the trailer and the film itself. However, this phenomenon isn't really new. Years ago, when Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker for The Dark Knight, the uproar was deafening. Fans and critics questioned the choice, doubting Ledger's ability to embody such a complex character. However, his performance turned out to be legendary, capturing the dark, chaotic essence of the Joker in a way that surprised and impressed audiences. His portrayal is now seen as a definitive example of the character, proving that initial criticisms can often be misguided. Across many industries, fan expectations are continually shifting. Studios often find themselves in a no-win situation when it comes to character design. It's perplexing that fans can deride a studio for not adhering to comic-accurate portrayals, only to turn around and criticize them for when they do. This contradictory feedback loop not only complicates the creative process, but also undermines the artistic freedom of the designers. Studios are frequently caught between staying true to the source material and modernizing characters to appeal to broader audiences. It's a challenging balance, and it's crucial for fans to recognize and appreciate the nuanced decisions that go into character design, rather than just defaulting to criticism. But why do we jump to conclusions so quickly? There is a certain allure to being the first to critique or predict a flop. The pursuit of clout. Social media has turned criticisms into a game, where calling out perceived flaws can earn likes, shares, and followers. It's easy and safer to critique than to praise, especially when uncertainty looms over something new and untested. For instance, when a new game is announced, fans often dissect every snippet of information, every trailer, every screenshot, looking for potential flaws. The negative discourse becomes louder and more prevalent, drowning out any positive anticipation. Criticism, when constructive, is invaluable. It drives improvements and innovation. However, the current climate often lacks nuance, focusing on negativity for engagement rather than a balanced discussion. When we complain for the sake of clout, we risk missing out on the joy and wonder that creative works can bring. The ramifications of fan behavior extend to game developers, who are already under immense pressure to meet sky-high expectations. Imagine spending years working on your passion, only for it to be deemed ruined because of a single aspect that didn't sit well with someone. That pressure can lead to rushed patches or content changes that can compromise the developer's original vision. Developers have to strike a delicate balance between listening to feedback and staying true to their creative goals. It's a challenging tightrope walk, especially when online communities magnify every perceived misstep. So jumping down that rabbit hole for a second, I want to talk about how leaks and fan actions have in the past forced developers to make changes that ultimately led to unintended dissatisfaction. Once again, imagine designing a game with intricate storylines, well-timed plot twists, and unique gameplay elements, only to have them exposed prematurely. This often compels developers to alter or rush aspects of their games in response to growing pressures and preconceptions. For example, developers might decide to modify a key storyline or gameplay feature in an attempt to regain some of the surprise factor that was lost due to the leaks. Unfortunately, these last-minute changes can disrupt the game's intended flow and coherence, resulting in a final product that feels disjointed or incomplete to players. Additionally, in trying to regain control over the narrative, developers sometimes release patches or updates that addresses fan feedback post-launch. While this can certainly fix some issues, it can also lead to unintended changes that affect the overall balance and enjoyment of the game. The pressure to respond swiftly to leaks and criticism means not all adjustments are in line with the developer's original vision, leaving players with experiences that feel less authentic or satisfying. Thus, the cycle of premature exposure and reactive changes can create a ripple effect, leaving both developers and gamers disappointed. This dynamic highlights the importance of fostering a gaming community that respects release timelines and appreciates games as complex, evolving art forms rather than commodities ripe for dissection. Jumping back to social media influencers, the online platforms that they use have become very powerful tools for amplifying their voices. And what that does is sometimes ends up distorting the original intent behind statements from companies or celebrities. These platforms often blow quotes well out of proportion, and these content creators, influencers, whatever, seek to elicit extreme reactions from the public to garner more engagement and clout. This is especially prevalent in the entertainment and gaming industries, where fans wielding significant influence over creative choices. Influencers, in their quest for fame, may misrepresent a celebrity's comment or a company's strategic announcement, again igniting a frenzy among followers. This can lead to unrealistic expectations, such as fan-demanded features in upcoming games or castings of specific actors in films. When these expectations are not met, the resulting disappointment can be profound, affecting both the creators and the audience. This cycle not only highlights the sway influencers hold, but also underscores the need for more thoughtful and measured approach to media consumption, encouraging fans to engage with content in a way that appreciates artistic integrity over sensationalism. You don't need to look any further than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. The amount of rumors and supposed leaks about all sorts of new variants or returning characters or fight scenes between specific characters that never happened in that movie caused a big backlash. And because of these rumors, people were angry at the studio for these rumors not being true. This is not the studio's fault. This is the content creators, leakers, and whoever started the rumors. It's their fault that you're upset. So I want to take a moment to reflect on the importance of letting creators, developers, and companies to tell their stories their way. Every game, every movie, every creative project is a labor of love, crafted with vision and intent. When we rush to judgment over a minor bug or single plot point, we risk overshadowing the broader narrative that the creators have painstakingly assembled. It's truly disheartening to witness a single misstep or a single misunderstood social media post, how they can morph into a campaign of online hate against developers or companies. Constructive criticism is vital and a part of the industry's growth, but there's a big difference between offering feedback and attempting to dismantle a creator's reputation over trivial matters. As we continue to explore the dynamics between fans and the gaming industry, it's important to address the unrealistic expectations that have become increasingly prevalent. Many fans demand games with hundreds of hours of gameplay, cutting-edge graphics, and performance levels reaching ridiculous frame rates, all while expecting prices to remain unchanged and low. These demands are not only challenging, but often impractical from a development standpoint. Some fans have unfairly fixated on trivial aspects, such as the consistency of a character's outfit in different scenes, or the repetition of a line of dialogue across films. Such criticisms overlook the broader context of development, time, and resources, focusing instead on insignificant details. To begin wrapping this up, because you've been very patient listening to me ramble for all this time, it's crucial for us as fans to appreciate the complexities of game and film production by recognizing the immense effort and resources required to meet even the most basic of our demands. We can foster a more supportive and understanding community. So rather than criticizing every step and every tiny thing that we've gone well out of our way to find, let's try to celebrate the creativity and hard work that goes into these projects, rather than getting bogged down on the unrealistic expectations and minor grievances. There's so many things I can delve into, and I know that I'm never going to be happy with this script. All videos that I post for the next at least 6 months, if not longer, are only going to be focusing on the positive aspects of things. These will still be absolutely genuine opinions of mine, but they're going to be focusing on positive things which most people think are not so good. So to wrap this up, because I keep getting interrupted by my son, and I could honestly go on about this for hours, and I'm sorry for how long I've rambled on, I really am. All I'm asking is that we, as a community, bring back the excitement of movies and games without ruining them with spoilers, leaks, or just delving too deep into tiny little things, trying to bring down an entire game, an entire movie, or an entire company because of tiny things. Tiny things. Yes, studios do some silly things which they should be held accountable for. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be, but we need to do our part too. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me through all that. If you're still here, you're an absolute legend. Regardless of whether you like, share, and subscribe, thank you for clicking on this video in the first place. But more importantly, thank you for hearing me out.